let's just say turn-ons don't look like they did at 30. Honestly, thank God.
Yeah, it's not just all about the body parts anymore, but some body parts still count.
Well, this is Jim. Steady hands, sharp mind, and the man who still makes my heart skip after
Aww,
all these years, even in flip-flops.
that's nice. And that's Tab, fierce, loyal, and still the woman who turns my head every damn day.
Aw.
And
And
together, we're
unretired
unretired AF.
Today, we're going to be getting into turn-ons, not just the sexy kind, and the stuff that makes us feel seen and wanted and loved.
Yep, we're going to talk about emotional, intellectual, and physical, yeah, but we're going to keep it PG-13.
Are we?
Oh, yes, we are.
Okay. All right. So what's changed? What's changed since
Whew.
since we were younger? Even since we got together
Yeah.
14 years ago. Menopause, that happened. That was terrible, as I'm sure many of you know. That was a super big libido killer, and as I'm sure you also know. And that's something that we're still fighting through, but it's much better than it was in the beginning. I'm not biting him anymore. So.
And you know, for men, the older we get, it seems the less testosterone we produce. So you need to have that checked and see. There's a lot of benefits to having your testosterone in the right range. Everything from, of course, libido to just making your body function like it should.
Yeah, but just get educated about it. I mean, I went on hormone replacement therapy 2 years ago, and I didn't like it. It turned me into, yeah, it wasn't good for me. So talk to your doctor about it and find out if it's good for you. I know a lot of my friends all swear by it.
Yeah.
I just didn't get the same results that they did. It made me crazy, and I went off them, and it seems like my hormones have started regulating themselves on their own recently. So.
And I know one thing for me, if you watched a previous show, weight loss will increase my natural testosterone,
Right.
and make things a lot better.
Yeah.
Things a lot better. So it's you really got to just know your body,
Yeah.
and know if something's not working as it should. There are means to make things work as they should, but it doesn't all have to be medical. There are some natural remedies out there that work. They absolutely
Well,
work.
and I think it's important to have realistic expectations. I mean, as we get older, we're not the same people we were
Right.
in our 30s. I mean, we just aren't, and life's different, and our priorities are different, and that leads us into the next topic of what turns us on now. I
Yeah.
mean, the same things that turned me on when we first got together aren't the same things.
No.
I mean, like Jim will do stuff like if he knows I have to go somewhere the next day, he'll make sure my car's filled up with gas. To me, that's a huge turn on. Him fighting with me. To be honest, let's just get real. Him fighting with me. Sometimes I just like fighting. It's like when I say fighting, I mean like bantering, like bantering that's not mean spirited and certainly
Right.
not physical. We're not talking about that.
No.
Just I just want to argue. And sometimes if he like argues back with me, that can certainly be a turn on for me.
Yeah. And the intellectual part of that is a turn on. It's it's very it's sexy in a way to have the banter we have. Now, not to say if I walk in her and she's changing, that doesn't help either.
Right.
So it's all good stuff. But I think now, honestly, the small things like cooking my favorite dinner, or telling me I look good, or complimenting me on my day, the little things like that are they're awesome. Some of you may
Right.
say, well, that should happen all the time. Yeah, but it doesn't every day, no matter who you are.
Right.
So,
Well, and we get into patterns where and we don't mean to, but we just start taking each other for granted,
right,
and
right.
not in a bad way, but we just, we do, and we
Yeah,
forget to be thoughtful. We forget to say the things that, that make the other person feel like, like we're connected.
right, right, right. Well, it's never too late to tell the one you love that you love her. It's never too late to do something nice, just out of the ordinary. And it goes a long way. It really goes a long way. And
Yeah.
it comes both ways.
Well,
Would
and
you
I
agree with
think,
that?
I think one of the things too that is something that we certainly didn't grow up with was just talking about this kind of stuff. I mean,
No.
most of us don't. We just get resentments toward our partner because we expect that they're going to be a mind reader. But really, that's really not very nice. I mean, how can they know what you want if you don't tell them? And it isn't even just like in bed. It's about what you want out of your partner. I mean,
Yeah.
you want your partner to be kind and thoughtful. You want them to be, whatever, doing things. Maybe you want to, maybe one thing that could turn you on is going and doing things. Maybe you both like to do something, and you think maybe you're too old to do that now,
Right.
like going to concerts. I mean, Jim and I have gone to a bunch of concerts. We haven't been since before COVID, but before that, we used to go to concerts all the time and see, every time the old bands would go touring. We saw Boston, we saw Steve Miller Band, and many more. I mean, we've seen a lot
Yeah.
of great bands, and that's something that we enjoy doing. Or maybe it's going out dancing. Maybe you enjoy line dancing or country dancing, or maybe you enjoy even ballroom dancing. Get out there and do something that you connect. Take a class, do something
Right.
together. I know Jim's been wanting me for years to go and learn golf with him, but I'm just not very coordinated, and that's my fear of doing that is I'm going to look stupid and swing the golf club and miss the ball. That I'm not good even at top golf. I'm not even good at mini golf. So, but I would try it. And as long as we could just laugh about it
Yeah.
if I messed up all the time,
Yeah. I know I can speak for me. I didn't grow up in a real loving family that outwardly showed it. And even my first marriage was not really that loving. And I want to be careful of the words I use, but it's just been a total different change the last 14 years to have somebody that appreciates it and shows their love, tells me when I'm screwing up,
Yeah.
and
As do you to
I
me.
do,
Yeah.
I do.
But that's our relationship.
That
That's our
is.
vibe.
That is.
That's what we like.
So there's a lot of turn-ons, as we've said. The turn-ons at 60 plus are not the same as 30
No.
by any means. But I think it's better now than it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because it's a deeper connection.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like as you're 60 plus, you're looking at your partner not just like who's going to be, hot and sexy or whatever. You're looking at this person. Are they going to be here in the long run? If I have problems, because
Right.
that's reality at our
Right.
age. Are they going to stick around? Are they
Yeah.
going to be here, or are they going to abandon me and go look for something else? And so, that's a turn on, just that sense of commitment
Right.
that you have with that other person, that they're going to
Right.
be there for you, within reason.
Yeah,
No, just kidding. But you know what I mean.
I do.
It's like it's definitely that. So, I mean, I guess our takeaways from this subject are relationships evolve,
yep,
and even though we've both have had different relationships prior to being together, our own relationship has evolved a lot
Absolutely.
over the years because we've gone through some pretty significant points of life.
we have.
And basically sort of winding down our careers and going into this unretired life where we spend a lot more time together than we did before. And that's something that you better think hard about that,
Yeah.
because we had some adjustments in the beginning of spending so much time together.
We did. We did.
But that was good. And now passion looks different. I mean, it isn't the same as it was when we first got together,
No.
or even after we were together a while. It just looks different. There's still seasons of fire, seasons of frost. I think that
Sure.
that it's cyclic. We go through seasons where,
Right.
it's where I guess the way I look at it is like, I think sometimes we're more friends than lovers, and sometimes we're more lovers than friends.
Yeah.
And
But I can say every day, though, we make each other laugh. Every day.
We do.
Every
we do.
day.
We do. I mean, for us, humor,
Right.
we couldn't. And I know for me, I'm a especially serious person, and sometimes it's hard for me to change channels, like from when I'm doing work and it's real serious work,
Yeah.
to all of a sudden change to where you're a little easier at that.
Well, I can be pretty intimidating when I have to be
didn't say
too.
you weren't intimidating. I said you can change the channel
I
easier
can.
than me.
I can.
You're better at compartmentalizing stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm not as good at.
I would agree.
At
I
that.
would
It
agree.
bleeds into other areas, which I think
Yeah.
sometimes can affect us.
Yeah.
And but usually Jim, just if I'm acting ridiculous, he'll just usually like laugh at me rather than fight with me, and that kind of changes the channel for me, where I realize that I'm being ridiculous, and that helps a lot.
Yep.
But I think the key at our age is just showing up and just choosing each other every day.
I agree.
Just let the other person know, I choose you.
I agree. I agree. And you got to keep fighting for the connection.
Yeah.
You got to tell the other that you care for them.
Yeah.
And you want them in your life. The one thing we both know now is intimacy is not all about sex.
No.
I mean,
No.
you can be intimate at the going out to dinner and have a great time with it, and blocking everybody out and just making it about me and you when we go out to dinner.
And now intimacy is about trusting each other
Right.
with our scary things.
Yeah.
With our
Yeah.
heart or things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's always going to be about intimacy. Will always be about, and love with us will always be about being seen,
Yes.
being touched,
Yes.
and especially being wanted.
Yes.
I mean, who wants to be with someone that doesn't really want them around?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
we've dealt with that in work related all the time. The easiest thing is just cut the ties and say the best deal is no deal at all.
Right.
And go on.
Yes.
None of that disappears with age
Right. That wanting to be wanted.
unless we let it.
Right. Right.
A lot of people think it's easy just to be a hermit. We have someone that lives close to us now, is the most ornery son of a bitch there is. Complains about everything. Has turned everybody around us against him. And guess what? When he needs help, nobody's going to help him. I don't ever want to be like that.
No, we don't want to be old people that always just talk about all their aches and pains,
No.
and runs people off. Nobody wants to know how you're doing, because that means a 30-minute conversation of
Exactly.
depression, and
Exactly.
definitely not good, especially for people who like that, or
Right.
they're not
Thrive
to say
on
they
that.
like it, but they thrive on it. Yeah, so we're not going to be like that. We're gonna fight for it.
So I don't know if you guys are like this. We have very few friends, but a lot of acquaintances.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to me. A friend is someone that I will do most anything for. An acquaintance is somebody that I tolerate.
Yeah.
Because I generally don't like a lot of people.
Well, you know what, and that's the thing with us, and this is what we're hoping to draw into our channel, is other people like us. We're just honest, and
Right.
there's not a lot of people who are honest anymore in this world. They say stuff nice to your face, and then they turn around and talk bad about you behind your back.
Yeah.
And they don't have any sense of loyalty anymore, and that's something that all of us who are like this have been burned.
Yeah, but we're fortunate that we're both thick-skinned.
Yeah. But it's driven us closer together in
It
a
has.
relationship too.
It definitely has.
So that could be a turn on too.
If somebody talks bad about you and that, does it really affect you? No. Gives you something to talk about, but I don't really care if somebody doesn't like me.
Well, especially at our age. I mean, how much do we really give a shit about what other people think about us?
Exactly.
Not much. Not much anymore.
Just to keep fighting for the connection.
That's right.
Keep fighting. Tell the one you love that you love them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't disappear with age unless any of us let it.
That's right. And we're not slowing down.
Nope, and neither should you.
And together we're unretired AF.
What turns you on these days? Drop that in the comments for us, please.
And if you're over 60 and you're still flirty, not with us or other people you're not supposed to be flirty with, but if you still have that flirty spirit, that flirty personality, we want to hear from you, and we're open to tips too for how you're keeping your relationship alive and what your turn-ons are at 60 plus. And join us in the revolution.
Absolutely. See you next time.